Many athletes have what most of us will spend a lifetime to gather, and sometimes we try to scrape together a tiny fraction of what they've got in their early 20s. And the sad part is, most of us won't even get close. They've got the fame, they've got the looks, they've got the talent, they've got the girls, and of course, they've got the money. And some of them have it all for so long that they don't even know what to do with it anymore. For many athletes, there seems to be a tipping point where a comfortable home and a nice set of wheels just don't rev the engine like it used to. It starts small, usually, some customized details on the Benz, which leads to another car or two. Then a new vacation home, so there's somewhere to drive the new cars. And then, before you know it, they're spending their days in the casino and their nights at home bidding on dinosaur bones on eBay, which leaves them teetering on the verge of financial ruin for the rest of their days. It's probably a finer line than most of us even realize. But let's face it, not all athletes mismanage their money. There are plenty of athletes living on a budget and saving a portion of their salary for life after sports. But yet, there are plenty of players who spend big bucks on items that will blow your mind, and NBA players may just be the top of the list. Or, can you ever imagine spending $2 million on a bathtub? Well, that's just the tip of an iceberg because, in this video, I'm going to show you some of the stupidest purchases NBA players ever made. So make sure you watch this video to the end and hit the red button below this video to subscribe. Now here it is. Number 6. Latrell Sprewell, Yacht. While buying a yacht isn't an odd thing to do per se, it became one of Latrell Sprewell's most regrettable purchases after the forward decision to retire from the league because of the multi-million-dollar deal he got wasn't enough to feed his family. Eventually, the yacht was auctioned and he lost a lot of money after spending $1.5 million on the boat, while one of his houses was foreclosed as well. Number 5. Carmelo Anthony, a Camel. While Mike Tyson has his tigers and some NFL players brag about their alligators, Carmelo Anthony went the whole way and bought himself a Camelback in 2011. I don't know if he rides it or has it for the mere fact that he has enough money to take care of him. Still, considering how much they poop, I highly doubt he does much of the grooming. Number 4. DeShawn Stevenson, a personal ATM. Stevenson is most known for his beef with LeBron James. LeBron owned Stevenson's Wizards during the Eastern Conference playoffs, but his Mavericks managed to steal the win from the Heat in the 2011 finals. Stevenson played a minor role in stopping James, yet he celebrated as if he single-handedly contained one of the best players in the league history. The funniest thing about his success was that Stevenson wasn't even on the Mavericks a year later. Instead, he was signed by the Nets. As a member of that team, Stevenson proudly posed in his home with an actual ATM in his kitchen. According to TMZ, he paid $3,500 for installing it. It charged a $4.50 transaction fee and was refilled with $20,000 a few times a year. Number 3. Gilbert Arenas, Shark Tank. Agent Zero Hibachi was at one point one of the most exciting ballers in the NBA. He played as a man possessed, predicted game scores, and signed large contracts. In 2008, Arenas signed a 6-year, $111 million deal with the Washington Wizards. He signed a deal after playing just 13 games a year before due to a knee injury. It was a sign of things to come, as Arenas never regained his form and was involved in a very shameful locker room incident. He received the last check from his giant deal in 2016, but he was still verging on bankruptcy. This becomes understandable when you consider things he spent his fortune on. One of them was his $1 million Shark Tank. He also needed to spend $5,000 a month to feed them, plus employed a caretaker. Arenas had to remove the aquarium to sell the mansion it was situated in. Just look how huge it is. Number 2. Scottie Pippen, a private jet. Scottie Pippen is one of the stingiest athletes ever. Because of his fear of financial insecurity, Pippen signed a long-term contract with the Bulls and was for a long time one of the most underpaid players in the league. Once he got the chance, Pippen decided to earn as much as possible on the Rockets and, later on the Blazers. When he eventually got his money, Pippen decided to spend some of it in the most ridiculous ways. The most significant was splurging on a $3.4 million private jet. He didn't take into account the cost of running the aircraft, let alone maintaining it and storing it. In consequence, his very own aircraft never left the ground. Talk about a ridiculous purchase. Number 1. Jarrett Jack. Over 1,500 pairs of sneakers. Jarrett Jack was never what you can call an NBA superstar. He was a legitimate starter during just one season, even though he's been in the league for 13 years. He's making up for it during his 14th season, now as a member of the surprisingly good New York Knicks. He never signed large contracts, at least by NBA standards, but he earned enough to buy 1,500 pairs of sneakers. Some of them are rare, and most he has never even worn. Why is this purchase dumb? Apart from the fact that he's never going to wear some of these shoes, and it may be treated as an investment, it would be validated if Jack would be making superstar money. He should be smarter about spending it though. He's nearly ready for retirement, and you can bet that once that NBA money is gone, some of these shoes will be gone as well. Athletes buy some pretty outrageous things, which somewhat explains why 78% of NFL and 60% of NBA players file for bankruptcy 5 years after retiring from professional sports. However, we can be pretty certain that none of them would buy such expensive shoes, right? Right. Well, as you can see by this list, some of them spend money on stuff that is even more ridiculous. At least Ric Flair looked pretty good in his expensive shoes, but some of the things on this list are pretty ugly and rather disposable. Athletes buy stupid things, not because they didn't have anything coming from poor backgrounds and want to spoil themselves after the years they didn't have money. Instead, they buy ridiculous things simply because they can. I mean, we all buy stuff we don't need. Do you need those $495 Lonzo Ball sneakers? Or that single malt that you can't drink due to its strong taste? Maybe you would like to share those thoughts. Let's hear it in the comments section below. And if you think we did a great job in this video, give it a like, share, and subscribe for more interesting videos. All from Ballers Bound.